Did you know that Moses' survival and the liberation of the people of Israel depended on a decisive and unexpected action by his wife, Zipporah? A woman often forgotten, but who, in a single critical moment, altered the course of sacred history. Few people know this intriguing episode recorded in the Bible, an event that still sparks debates among scholars and raises profound questions. Who was Zipporah? What was her true importance in Moses' life? And why was her action crucial for him to fulfill his calling? In today's video, we will reveal a surprising detail about Zipporah that may completely change your perspective on this biblical story. Stay with us until the end so you don't miss this revelation. And if you enjoy content about the mysteries of the Bible, subscribe now to the Millennial Wisdom channel and turn on notifications. Now, imagine yourself in Moses' place. You receive a direct mission from God, something extraordinary and grand. But along the way, an unexpected event occurs. The very God who had chosen you now threatens your life. It seems contradictory, doesn't it? Why would God act this way? And what was Zipporah's desperate action that prevented this tragedy? This is one of the most mysterious episodes in the Bible, but before analyzing it, we need to understand who Zipporah was and why her presence in Moses' life had such a significant impact. Moses fled Egypt after killing an Egyptian and found refuge in the land of Midian. Without direction, without identity, without purpose, raised as a prince, he now saw himself as a wandering foreigner. Then he arrived at a well and witnessed a group of women being harassed by local shepherds. He intervened and helped these women, without imagining that this act would completely change his path. Among these women was Zipporah, daughter of Jethro, the priest of Midian. Moses was welcomed by Jethro and, over time, married Zipporah, starting a new life far from Egypt. 4 years, Moses lived as a shepherd, developing humility and patience. But his calling was still awaiting him. And then it happened. God appeared to Moses in the burning bush and called him to free the people of Israel from Egyptian captivity. But was Moses really prepared for this mission? Now, think carefully. Have you ever felt that God was calling you to something greater, but there was something in your life that needed to be corrected first? That is exactly what happened with Moses. He was on his way to Egypt to fulfill his calling, but there was a detail he ignored, and it almost cost him his life. And here comes the question. To what extent are we willing to listen to God and fully obey, even in the details that seem insignificant? Now we arrive at the most enigmatic moment of this story. God had chosen Moses to free Israel, had given him signs and assurances, and suddenly seemed determined to take him out of the picture. But why? It is at this moment that Zipporah reveals herself to be much more than a wife. She becomes a true spiritual guardian of Moses. Moses was heading to Egypt, his mind occupied with the weight of the mission, insecurity, and fear. But there was something he had neglected. His son had not yet been circumcised. And for a Hebrew, circumcision was not just a ritual. It was the symbol of the covenant between God and his people. How could Moses lead the liberation of Israel if he had not even fulfilled this covenant in his own home? How could he be an example to others if he failed in something so essential? This is where Zipporah comes in. The Bible recounts that, upon realizing the danger Moses was in, she immediately took a sharp stone and, with her own hands, circumcised her son. This act was not just physical. It was a gesture of faith, courage, and urgency. Then, in a mysterious manner, she took the child's foreskin and touched Moses, pronouncing words that still intrigue scholars today. "Surely you are a husband of blood to me." What does this mean? Many scholars believe that Zipporah was acknowledging the seriousness of the situation. She realized that Moses had neglected a crucial command from God and, to protect him, made the decision he should have made earlier. This act may have different interpretations, but one thing is certain: its impact was immediate. God then withdrew, and Moses was able to move forward. Zipporah did not just save Moses' life. She ensured that he was spiritually prepared to fulfill his calling. Now reflect. How many times does God call us to something great, but there are still aspects of our lives that need to be corrected? Does He prevent us from advancing until we fix what needs to be adjusted? Zipporah was much more than Moses' wife. She was the intercessor, the woman who ensured that he was aligned with God. Now think, would Moses have been able to fulfill his mission without Zipporah? The answer seems to be no. Without her, he would not have even survived to begin his journey. Zipporah's story teaches us that great callings require total obedience, even in the smallest details. Moses was chosen to free Israel, but it was his wife who ensured he was spiritually fit for this mission. How many times has God used someone to correct your path and set you in the right direction? Have you ever stopped to notice this? Now an intriguing question arises. Did Moses truly learn from this experience? He was a great leader, but his journey was marked by challenges and mistakes that few people notice. If you want to discover the lessons Moses did not learn and how they impacted his mission, watch the other video on the channel. The 5 Mistakes of Moses. What can we learn from them? You cannot miss this revelation. Zipporah's story teaches us that it is not always great leaders who change the course of history, but rather those who stand beside them, guiding, supporting, and often correcting their paths. Moses was chosen by God, but it was Zipporah who ensured he was ready to fulfill his mission. This leads us to reflect. Are we paying attention to the people God has placed beside us to guide us? Or are we ignoring warnings that could change our destiny? If this story made sense to you, leave your comment below and share your opinion. And don't forget, subscribe to the Millennial Wisdom channel, turn on notifications, and like this video. This helps us continue bringing deep content about the mysteries of the Bible. See you in the next video.